there was an active expectation that they shared. Stuff had to be documented and shared. And the impact is that the individual efficacy that I mentioned before actually starts to become this collective efficacy whereby it's not just I think I can make a difference to the learning of these kids, but our faculty or our year level, whatever it happens to be, is expected to make a difference to the learning of these kids. All the department initiatives, the schools actually, we use the polite language, they tailored the initiatives to the directions of the school. Basically, the ones that fitted in and worked for them were the ones that they really picked up in a big way and ran with. They also, interestingly enough, the ones they found most valuable I don't think will surprise anyone here, performance development culture, because in most cases what that did was they were doing that in a rudimentary way. They actually found it helpful because it made them more rigorous. The VELS was the discussion point for teachers, the POLT and so on. Those things won't surprise you, you'd probably generate the same list. But the other thing the principals did that was interesting is they often massaged the initiatives, took the documents and rewrote them in simpler form that made sense to teachers and fitted with what they were doing in the school, so that people didn't feel overwhelmed and didn't feel that it was yet again something new. And the last sustaining lesson is that they actually all engender pride in the school. There was a real pride, and some of these are not flash schools, let's be clear about this. Now, I do want to raise a couple of other factors before we finish. Size matters. They're all comparatively large government schools. Smallest primary was about 250 up to about 550. Secondaries were both over 1,000, but they didn't start that. One of the secondaries had got as low as about 400. 400? Yeah, about 400. And had built up to 1,000, over 1,000, 1,100, as a result of the actions and improvement journey that it took. So you can actually build a stronger, larger school. Now that said, I would acknowledge there's a threshold. Having worked in underperforming schools, I think there is a threshold that if you get below that level, it is almost impossible to resurrect. You're going to spiral downwards and people are going to pass you by. But they were all relatively large schools and had become big schools. The most obvious reason is, of course, the program range that then helps you further success. Everybody knows that one. It's true. Those schools, by becoming bigger, were able to leverage off the broadening range of programs that they provided. But there was more. They also saw it, and I think they're right, as underpinning a vibrant professional learning culture. One of the primaries summed it up to me, Principal Primary, said, how can I have effective moderation and discussion in the school if I've got fewer than 3 grades at any level? That was his view. How can you, if you're the only economics teacher or business teacher, because you're probably teaching economics, legal studies and all the rest of it in a small school, how can you actually engage in professional dialogue on an ongoing basis if there's no one else to have it with? It actually underpins that. The other thing is that the leadership load can be spread. One of the things we always notice with the underperforming schools we've done is they're schools that generally not only are small, but have been declining badly. And what happens inevitably, of course, is that the school tries to do what it has always done. So it's got a set of leadership roles, and so you start getting people taking on more and more hats and doing it increasingly badly because it's not doable. This actually enables the leadership load to be spread, and it contributes to sustainability. You're just simply not as reliant on the person who might go, who you can't replace. You can't do the understudy stuff that one of the principals did that I mentioned, and that was a primary school, by the way, not a secondary. You can't do it because you haven't got the people to do it.